We are working for corporations, getting great salaries, but are you free? Are you free to quit? Right now, today, to call your boss and say, I quit, not coming back. We are slaves as long as our economy and our economic interactions are controlled by other people.
Here's the biggest aha moment I had getting financially literate. After reading these 5 books, I got financially literate, which means I understood the value of money, making it work for me, and buying back my number one asset called time. But once I learned that, this is what happened. I realized that the real game was not getting financially literate, but side hustling. And here's why. If I'm to have the resources, the actual capital to then invest in the assets that I want to invest and actually buy back my time, I need to make more money. Without money and more cash flow, I can't invest as aggressively as I want and get to the place where I can now use these assets to pay for my lifestyle. And so began the second part of my journey, which was side hustling. Now, don't get it wrong, side hustling is not easy. It's entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship is not easy. But I will tell you this, it's very much well worth it.
Financial cheat code number 1. Even if you're a W-2 employee, start a business. Either an LLC or an S-Corp. A sole prop will work too, but you're better off to do an S-Corp or an LLC. And no, I'm not just saying start up a fake business. I'm saying do one legitimately, because otherwise tax guys will find out. But even if you're not making any money, you're going to get additional write-offs that you wouldn't normally get. Stuff like being able to write off your vehicle, being able to write off a portion of your mortgage payment or your rent. You'll be able to write off things like meals and office supplies and a ton of other expenses, all which knock your tax bracket down. And it'll force you to work on starting a business or a side hustle, which will make you more money. What should that business be? Everyone's going to be different, but do something you're good at. If you want to take your streaming to the next level, well, guess what that means? It means you get to write off all your computers, all your accessories, all that stuff that you need for streaming, cameras, etc. And you're home because that's where you're doing it. Cheat codes.
Let's use Tony Robbins' famous quote. And he said, if you're 18 years old and you invest $300 a month for 8 years, and then at 8 years, you no longer invest again, you'll be financially free by the time you retire. You have $1.8 million. People are like, what the heck are you talking about? Well, at 8 years, you would have invested $28,800. And if it was invested in the stock market, which has earned about 10% each year for the last 30 years, and because of compound interest at retirement age, which is mid 60s, you'd have $1.8 million. It's psycho.
Most important skill you can learn as a 20-year-old is how to interpret financial statements. Sounds boring. It'll help with both real estate and stocks. Basically anything that's a business. Unfortunately, the topic's pretty boring. I started with this book. Good luck.
Yeah, so there's lots of financial advice out there from different experts, but the first thing I always think about when I was younger is just to start early, even if it's small amounts, right? Get that money into the market or into real estate, and think of just becoming an investor instead of a speculator, right? Think long term, get the money into the investment and monitor it and make lots of money over the long term, right? That's probably one of the best things to do. The other thing is just focus on creating more income as well, right? So we can always cut back our expenses to get more money so we can have leftover money to invest, but it's easier and it's better if you just go out and make more income if you can through a new job or through starting a business. You get that additional income and then you can accelerate your wealth building much faster if you do that. So those are 2 pieces of advice I would give.